Hey guys, what's up? So we're here to check out the latest update on AOV. We're gonna check out which heroes got buffed and which ones got nerfed. Basically guys, if you see red numbers, then it's a nerf, and if it's green, then it's a buff. Well, more or less, since some of the changes they did on some of the heroes is so little that you probably won't notice the effect. But some heroes guys really did get a huge buff and some got a huge nerf. So let's go check them out. So first is Raz, and as you can see guys, they've improved the damage of his second skill, Power Surge, by a bit, and they've also increased the armor, the basic armor, from 89 to 95 and improved his armor growth from 17.7 to 19.5. So that's a definite buff for Raz. And next up guys is Butterfly. They've reduced the damage of her ultimate backstab by a bit. But honestly guys, this won't mean much since the change they did is very little. But still guys, this is a nerf for Butterfly. Next up is Lindis. Basically guys, they've just increased the ability range of her ultimate Lunar Champion from 7.5 to 8 units. Another minor change. And next hero guys is Superman, and on this one they did a huge nerf since not only did they reduce the damage of his first skill by a lot, they've also reduced its slowdown effect from 50% to 30%. And they've also reduced the slowdown effect of his second skill, Man of Steel. So as you can see guys, this is definitely a nerf on Superman. Next hero guys is Toro, and on this one they did a buff. They've improved the shield generated on his second skill, Battle Cry. They've now added a 2% maximum HP as shield, and they've also improved its attack damage. So that's a definite buff for Toro. And next one guys is Tara, and on this one it's another buff. Tara now gains 3% of HP lasting for 3 seconds after using Colossal Smash and Whirlwind. And next hero guys is Veera, and it's another buff. They've improved her passive skill, Calm Heater, and it says Veera applies a Calm Heater stack to every enemy hit by her abilities. Each stack reduces an enemy's magic defense by 30 to 70, and it scales with hero level, and it stacks up to 3 times. Now after killing or assisting in killing an enemy, her skills cooldown are reduced by a whopping 25%. Next hero guys is Diao Chan. Now on this one it's another buff. They've increased the damage of her first skill, and they've also made some changes on how her second skill works. Her second skill guys can now stack up to 2 charges, and also freezing the same target within 5 seconds will only freeze them for 0.75 seconds. And they've also reduced the mana cost, and the cooldown time for the second charge is only 1 second. Now next one guys is Kali. Now I'm not sure on this one if it's a nerf or a buff since they did reduce the ability power of her second skill. They've also reduced the movement speed, but they did however change how its passive attributes work. The passive attributes of her second skill can now be stacked with the skills active. Now next one guys is Natalya. Now this one is a bit of a buff since they've improved the projectile flying speed of her second skill from 10 to 12.5 units. And next one guys is a buff for Qiqi. They've reduced the cooldown of her ultimate Moonfall by 8 seconds. Now that's actually a lot guys, so that's good news for Qiqi users. Next one guys is a bit of a nerf for Prieta. They've reduced the ability range from 9 to 8.5 units on his second skill. And next hero guys is Valheim. Now it's a clear buff for Valheim since the blue glaive now regenerates HP on hit, and they've also increased the magic damage of your first skill and also reduced its cooldown time. So that's a clear buff. Next one guys is Alice. Now they did some changes on her first skill. The projectile now shows up 0.2 seconds earlier. However, the projectile flight is 0.2 seconds longer. Now, I'm not sure what to make of that, but I guess it's gonna be a bit easier to dodge Alice's first skill. Although they did reduce its cooldown, and they've also reduced the cooldown of her second skill, and they've prolonged the ability effects of her ultimate from 0.3 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Next one guys is Zeal, and it's another buff on this one. Zeal's normal attacks deals additional 40 magic damage, and while fighting jungle monsters, this is upgraded to 65 and plus 10 per hero level magic damage. So that's a definite buff for Zeal, and I guess it's gonna be a lot easier for him to jungle. And next one guys is Gina, and it's another buff. Basically guys, they've just reduced the cooldown of his second skill and his ultimate. And next one guys is Maganga. Now on this one, they've improved the damage of his first skill and also made some changes, and Maganga now stocks a bottle of poison every 12 to 9 seconds, and he can carry a maximum of 2 bottles at a time. The cooldown time is 2 seconds, and poison bottle charging time is as it shows. And next one guys is Slims, and Slims is now gonna be a bit faster with his attack speed since they've increased the attack speed growth per level to 2% to 3%. Next one guys is Kilgrat. Now they've increased the passive magic damage and active magic damage of his second skill. However, when skill is active, passive effect will now be disabled. And next one guys is Alistar, and this is a clear buff. They've increased the true damage of his passive skill, reduced the cooldown of his first skill, and reduced the cooldown again on his second skill. Next one guys is Qiqi, and this guy received a huge buff. They've increased the physical damage from his passive skill, they've increased the physical damage and magical damage of his first skill, they've increased the physical damage and the HP restore that he gets from his second skill, and they've also increased the physical damage on his ultimate. So that's a very clear buff for Qiqi guys. Next one guys is Astrid, and Astrid got a bit of a buff, but it's so little that I doubt you'll even notice it on her gameplay. Next one guys is Illumia, and they've increased the magic damage of her first skill and made some changes on her second skill. Next hero guys is Scud. Now Scud received a bit of a buff since they've increased the charge distance of his first skill from 4.5 to 5.5 units. So that's it guys, we covered all of the heroes that got nerfed or got buffed. On our next video, we're gonna check out the changes they did on the item. So stay tuned guys, thanks!